So in this audio, for part one, controlling your emotions, we're going to talk about what would Bart say or do. Oh, that's me. Yeah, what would I say or do if I were in your shoes? So for starters, I don't know your personal situation, but I'm human too, sometimes, mostly on Thursdays. And when certain feelings attempt to come over me, I have certain responses, formulas, and rituals that kick in quickly to help minimize, squash, destabilize any negative emotions I might feel in a given situation. For example, what would I say or do in some of these everyday situations that people experience, which I'm about to get into right now? For example, how do I stop emotional outbursts? Stop in the name of love. Oh, wait, that's a song. Okay, yeah, just stop. How do you stop emotional outbursts? You just stop. Think before you speak. Let the other person do more of the talking than you. Let them exhaust themselves with their lungs and capacity of breathing while talking endlessly and incessantly. Just respond with carefully chosen words that seek to resolve any problems occurring in the moment, and that don't expand upon the negativity raining down in that moment. Take a time out if you have to, so you can both regroup later when things have calmed down. Identify possible solutions. Don't seek to be right. Seek to resolve to a mutually agreeable resolution. Use humor to release tension. Remember what I said about dropping to your knees, gentlemen. You ladies too. But hey, do so. Then say what needs to be said or say what you're going to say and then laugh together about it at the same time. Emotional outbursts, practice makes perfect. When you think you're gonna, stop. Don't do it. How do I not be depressed from time to time? And I've asked people this. I said, hey, can you ever see me depressed? And they're like, oh God, no, never. But here's one word to help you out of your depression. And, I don't know your personal circumstances and situation. Again, I preface that, so I want to respect your situation. But at the end of the day, party. Party hardy. Actually, 2 words. Also, get busy. You see, get busy working hard for you so that one day per week or month, you can really party and have a good time. Actually, it's the party mindset is more of a mindset than just, actually partying to get drunk or something. No, I don't do that. In fact, I've actually asked people that, can you ever see me getting drunk? And they're like, no, never. And that's because I have a lot on my mind. I'm busy. I got a lot of things going on. And alcohol would just sort of put a damper on things and slow me down. And no, I don't want that. I'll have a beer every now and then, once in a while, but only with people that come over or I go out. But otherwise, I'm not going to be drinking on my own. No way. I got things to do. And I need 110% of full capacity of my brain thinking. So again, actually the party mindset is more of a mindset than actually partying to get drunk or something, Although finding a rave and maybe dancing all night doesn't sound bad either. The point is, depression is a hole in the ground of your mind that shouldn't be there. And some folks tend to fill it with food, overeating, sweets, drugs, drink, etc., in order to fill the void or depression in their life. Well, instead of those things, why not fill the void with self-help, learning, education, training, working out, getting in shape, volunteering, and helping others? You can't be sad when you spend your time making other people glad and happy to receive your help. As for me, my days are filled with either working on my own projects, working for clients to pay the bills, helping others when they come to me for my assistance, or working on things that will help my financial future look brighter and brighter. That pretty much takes care of the day, minus sleep, eat, clean up, all that kind of stuff. Let's see, in all those hours spent per day, like I said, minus sleeping, I'm pretty busy and don't have time to be depressed. Also, I'm very proactive in all the things that I do. So again, my time is filled. And I'm pretty busy that, like I said, don't have time to be depressed. But you can look depression in the face and you can tell it, hey, take a hike, buddy. Also, you can, this is just me, sort of a musical preference here. You may not have this same preference, and I understand. But for me, I like to put on a little Van Halen at least once a day. Start with Panama or Unchained, those songs. They'll get you off your feet, jumping. I'm kidding, but I'm serious too. Have you ever seen Eddie Van Halen when he was playing his guitar not smile? Not smile. Most guitarists, lead guitarists, rhythm, they're pretty serious. They're serious. They got their serious look on. But not Eddie Van Halen. He's just playing those notes like, hey, it's Saturday, woo, And there's something about the notes he plays, they just make him smile. And they make me smile, Panama. But also try saying Van Halen without smiling. You can say other bands and you just say the band, the name of the band, and your face kind of takes a little frown. But try to say Van Halen without smiling. You cannot avoid it. Van Halen. It's a smile band, The point is, music has an awesome way of lifting up our spirits when we're down. Try it. Party on with your favorite songs, or listen to what you listen to, or listen to what I listen to. I never have a day go by where I'm not rocking and rolling or jamming out. Or I've got neighbors that say, hey, Bart, I heard you rocking last night. I'm like, oh, sorry. Didn't mean that. Yes, I did. But people ask me all the time, how's it going, Bart? And my reply is, I'm always rocking. Try it. Crazy as it sounds, but tell depression to bugger off while you crank up the volume and dance, play air guitar, lip sync. I don't care what you do to your favorite tunes. How's that lyric go? I get up and nothing gets me down. You got it tough, but I've seen the toughest around. The concept here is just lift your own spirits with song and dance. It's cheap, it's free, it's healthy, and you can have it today to the day you take your last breath. Something else. How do I not be so angry all the time? Well, you need to relax, unwind, chill, and live your life cooler than a body on ice. Point is, why are you so angry? What's causing that? Is it you? Someone else? Something from your childhood? Feelings of inadequacy? Are you lacking in some way? Research the answers to any or all of those questions and fix yourself. Work on you. I got problems. I got issues. I got things that I want to work on. And I go right to work in my little Bart garage in the mind, and I fix me. I work on me. Choose to be happy and choose to be a positive influence on others. That's what I do. I try to do it as best I can. I choose to help people. I choose to motivate people. I choose to give answers and resources to people that they never could find on their own. I choose to be kind and help others. I write books to do that because I can't be everywhere all the time, but I got got a few smarts upstairs you might want to know about. So I put them in books. I record them, put them in video on my YouTube channel. What can you do, full-time or part-time, that can help others? Also, again, choose to have that party attitude. If you've got hang-ups from your past, I get it. We all do to some degree. The trick is to not let it get the best of you. Imagine you've got this past that just haunts you. Well, did you know? Every day is a new chance to create a new past. Let me repeat that. You may have issues in your past that haunt you. That's true. But did you know every day is a chance to create a new past that overwhelms or overtakes the past that kind of bugs you, kind of bothers you? And there are certain things that you can do to, in some cases, we've just got to forgive and move on. We've got to learn to let go. And again, you fill that void, that hole, those sorrows with party, fun, attitude, working on yourself, full-time or part-time, helping others. It's hard not to smile when somebody you help smiles back at you and says thank you. It's kind of cool to go to bed at night knowing that you might have helped somebody today and yesterday and the day before. In fact, I've got a few clients who kind of referred each other to me. That's how they came to me, through referrals. And you can bet that 1, 3, 6 months later, they're talking about their website or their book or something I helped them with. And they're all saying, gosh, I am so much farther ahead because of my working with Bart. Well, me too. You too? What's your Bart story? In fact, I had a birthday party when I was 36, and 80 people showed up. And one of the conversation pieces I had with everybody in the room at some point was, hey, let's just take 20 minutes, maybe 30. And does anyone have a Bart story? Where I helped you out or gave you this idea or something. People got in line to say, Bart helped me with this. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have this. I wouldn't have that if it wasn't for Bart. And do I get paid for all that? To some degree, yeah. But I have an abundance of knowledge to share. And I just happen to just overflow it. In fact, I have one client right now helping her with a book and a website. And I saw what she was doing with her business cards or maybe her speaker sheet or maybe a PowerPoint slide for a talk or something else. And I'm like, and I have another client who's got a sort of like a driver business. And he too was just starting out. And I'm like, hey, has anyone ever consulted with you about this business? Well, no, not really. I mean, I know how Uber works. Yeah, but this is your ball game now. And somebody needs to tell you what you should get, what you should be mindful of, things you should do, how you're going to get paid. And like, well, can you help me with that? I said, I'll give it a shot. And I put together this cool Google Doc, kind of like a mini business plan. And then these people just go off into the sunset with their dreams more clear, more tangible, more doable. I even had a band. I've talked to a couple bands before. And I said, you guys should do ABC, 1, 2, 3, XYZ. Do this, put this together, do that over there, etc. And they were like, you know what, Bart? You took what we had from a dream state, which was like way up here in the sky, and you brought it down to the ground where we can, like to the table, where we can look at it and pick it apart and assess it and put it back together again. You brought all these pieces together. Do you want to be our manager? I'm like, no. Thank you. I'm flattered, but I'm busy. I got things to do. But enrich yourself with knowledge in the areas of, everything you can, actually. But mostly computers, business, sales, marketing, publicity, social media, web design, e-commerce, shopping carts, merchant accounts, how to do business as a solopreneur and be able to share your knowledge with people, in this area. You might have another niche. Maybe it's health. Maybe it's something else. The concept here is you're not going to be angry all the time if you're helping other people. And of course, depending on how you are helping them, do be sure you're getting paid, your time is valued, and you're making a good buck. That's for sure. You give, you get paid, that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you can always overgive. And I tell my clients, look, I'm unaffordable. You cannot afford me. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to work on this little package, this project, these things. You need these things done. I'm going to have to charge you, though, what I want. And what I want is $100,000. But I'm going to give you the 99% off coupon. And I'm just joking to make my point here. I mean, I tell people I'm unaffordable. And then after a while talking to me, they're like, oh my God, you can help me with so much stuff. I don't have enough to pay you. You are unaffordable. I says, well, how much have you got? Well, I got this much. I said, all right, we'll work with it. We'll work with that. And I'll probably give you a little more. And they're like, oh, children at Christmas. That's what I'm saying, And of course, always don't go, do, or be anywhere where you are not valued. If you're going to help people, make sure that they appreciate it. They show their appreciation. They say thank you. You see how they take off, and take the world by storm or whatever you did to help them out. But when you are not being valued or appreciated, definitely reverse that car and get out of there. Because you take your skills and your talents elsewhere where they're appreciated. and helping yourself as well. And you've got the party attitude. You just won't be angry. And that's how I handle it. I mean, the only time I'm angry is maybe when something's not going fast enough. Or somebody's acting stupid. Or they're being disrespectful. Then I've got a right to be angry. But then I put them in their place quickly. And then I move on because I don't have time to be angry, Quick solutions. That's the answer. Well, why am I so negative? Someone might ask, Bart, why am I so negative? Do people tell you that you're negative? I'm thinking of somebody right now who, she's negative. And I'm like, do you know you sound so negative all the time? Debbie Downers. But, they pick people apart when they're with them in their presence. Or, I hear backstories of like, this person said this and this about so-and-so. And I'm like, well, that's not very nice. Do people tell you that you talk down to them or belittle them in every conversation that you have with them and you're unaware that you are? There are definitely some underlying issues causing you to be negative that have to be mentally excavated and removed ASAP. Sure, it may take time, to get over this negativity, but what else have you got, right? Time. Really though, ask a few friends or family members. Do I sound like a negative person from time to time? If so, can you give me some examples? I want to try to work on myself and become a more positive person. Then listen to what they have to say. Write it down if you want to, and practice not saying those things to people anymore. I'm thinking of someone right now again who always says something negative to me. Yeah, me. Yours truly. About me, tries to put me down, and I think they just get off on it. You know why? Because their life sucks, and they're miserable inside. So, that's their way of communicating to others, by putting them down every time they have a conversation with me, or anyone for that matter. So to bring this to their attention, I started making notes as to when, date and time, they said something negative, and I compiled everything that they said. To date, I've got about 30 instances where they said stupid, dumb, belittling things to me. Side note, all of my life, I've had people who also tried to tear me down because I'm so driven, and I like to succeed, and I like to win, and I work hard, and I am not lazy. These folks are what you call lazy. They're lazy physically, they're lazy mentally, and they don't like that I work so hard or that I'm so driven. They put me down, and they try to sabotage my progress. Well, I've got news for them. I'm onto their crap, and I'm not going to put up with it. I'll confront them and tell them, do you know you're an extremely negative person and you speak down to me every time we see each other? I have many of our conversations documented with time, date, and topics, and words said, phrases, etc. Would you like to see them? Or do you plan on changing your tone with me? Because if you don't, I don't want to see you ever again. And I mean it. Why should I come around to anyone who puts me down like you do? How would you like me to put you down constantly? In fact, let me make a list right now of all of your faults, and let's put you down for the next 10 minutes. What do you say? I got to catch up, right? That could be fun. Oh, it wouldn't be? I would hurt your feelings? Oh, I see. So you can dish it, but you can't take it. Then you can see how much I don't like it when you talk to me that way. You will change, right? Otherwise, this could be the last time you see me, ever. Sometimes, you just got to be upfront with people and threaten your eternal absence from their life. Now, if the shoe is on the other foot, and I'm talking about you, and you're the negative person, all it takes is one person like me to come into your life and tell you like it is. Then how would you feel? Exactly. So beat people to it, and you work on yourself. And quietly and in secret, go from a negative person to a positive person. It doesn't have to be overnight, but you can make it your first positive statement to the first person you see. Can't you? Of course you can. Go get him, Tiger. I believe in you. And I mentioned that, it just takes one person to come into your life to straighten you out, like me. I got a couple friends, some neighbors, per se, who they were having hard times with their circle of friends, maybe circle of family members, etc. I came into the picture. I started hearing some of the bad stuff that was being said, and I didn't like this one particular person getting hurt all the time. And I said to this person, why don't you say this the next time this person who hurts you, say this and see their reaction. And before you know it, over time, this other person, this negative person, they started straightening out and flying right because they saw the writing on the wall. This person I was helping was standing up for their rights to be treated respectfully, and they threatened the negative person with absence, disappearing. Hey, if you're going to be like that, I'm out of here, and I'm not going to be your friend anymore. So when that happens, two things happen. One, the negative person says, hey, I'm sorry. You mean a lot to me. We got a lot of memories. We've been friends for a long time. What did I do wrong? I'll work on it. Please don't go. That's a good friend. That's a good person. That's an adult. On the flip side, you've got the coward. And I'm thinking of a coward right now who, when I called him out on his negative talk to me, I said, hey, I'm not putting up with that. You can take a hike, buddy. Well, instead of saying, hey, Bart, I'm sorry. What did I do wrong? I want to keep our friendship alive. I like to joke around. I like to poke fun at you, but maybe I went a little too far. That would be the adult thing to do. The adult thing to do. But no, this person took the coward route. And he, on his way out the door, as I took away his verbal and emotional punching bag, which was me, they say misery loves company. So I guess he was quite miserable. In his own world, his own life, he's miserable. I'm happy-go-lucky. I got the party attitude, right? He hates that. Went kicking and screaming and hollering and swearing and the F-bomb and personal attacks. I'm going to get into it a little later. But this Yahoo, boy, you talk about not controlling your emotions. This PhD person and I just bring that up because my mother helped him with his PhD, and it's such a fraud, and he's a fraud. So, hey, Mr. Fraud out there, you know who you are. Everything you do is a fraud. The books you write, the websites you have, the language, the rewire your mind, master your life, you're the best, yeah, beyond your wildest dreams. Okay, whatever. Scam artist, snake oil salesman. I need to control my emotions. Isn't it just hilarious when you catch people committing crimes of negativity that their true selves show? Anyhow, whatever it is you're feeling, whatever it is you feel you want to do or say, if it's negative, stop, don't say it, or stop, don't do it. Practice makes perfect. When you can control your mouth, your tongue, your mind, your thoughts, your negativity, you're on your way to becoming, contributing, wonderful, mature human being to the planet Earth. So remember, what you say or do impacts people, positively or negatively. How do you prefer to impact people? Positively or negatively? You know the answer to that question. Always do the right thing. So remember, what you say or do impacts people. And number 2, it leaves a lifetime impression. It leaves a lifetime impression. How do you want to be remembered? For that one word or phrase or F-bomb or yelling session or physically striking someone or firing off an email with 15 to 30 personal character attacks and then not allowing the person to respond to them? To get his day in court, to say, hey, let me respond to these. No, the coward runs and hides like a chicken. But the lifetime impression has been made, and it only takes seconds to hurt someone, and yet it lasts a lifetime on their minds and on their hearts. Choose not to hurt, but to heal and help others. Bite your tongue, hold it in, take a walk, say to yourself, let's visit this later when I've cooled down or we've cooled down, okay? Let's visit it later when we're both calmed down. Your efforts to cool things down will be admired for a lifetime versus you flying off the handle, throwing things, breaking things, swearing up a storm. You know what I mean. Choose to leave lifetime memories of you doing and being positive and never negative. Okay? Choose to leave lifetime memories in what you say and what you do with others and interacting with others. Let those lifetime memories be positive or, remove yourself altogether. Those are just some of the things that I would say or do or how I think. And I'll tell you something, you could just toss any situation at me and I will have an answer for it. And I may not have your circumstances, or I might not, be like you or have grown up in your environment. And I'm aware that there are environments, kids growing up in certain kinds of environments. I'm aware, and I have not lived those lives. But at the same time, the answers to get up and out are always the same. Work hard, have a dream, be good to yourself, be good to others on the way up, because you might see them on the way down. Businesses and ideas, they come and they go. So, hey, I hope that helped. Let's continue to the next audio where I call it story time regarding controlling and managing emotions. It's a pretty interesting story, and it is all about emotions, controlling them, managing something else. Come on, let's check it out.